Welcome, welcome, race fans. This is Ron with Big Wizard TV. We are live on the air, and we've got some racing action for you here tonight. We are running east to west racing. This is the JNR Craftworks Contender Series, and it is Sunday night with the GT3 cars, and we are racing at Daytona. It's the nighttime race this week, and this is race 16 of 17. We are just 2 to go to determine the champion here. Although here in the JNR Craftworks series, it looks like what we're going to determine is who is in second place. Rick Wishon has the points lead by over 1,000 points, and there is no way for anybody to catch him now. He is rolling away and moving on as he's got this one locked up, but everybody else in the chase running for second place. We got about 5 drivers in the contest here running for P2 in the championship. Right now, the championship has Ron Gaibo in second spot, but he has all his races counted. Alex Good in third with a whole bunch of races to count. Michael Mooney in fourth. He's got all his boxes checked off, followed by Jeff Peters also with all his races. All these guys are just within, about 600 or 700 points of second spot. Brett Faye's right there as well. He's got a whole bunch of races to count, so if he gets a couple good ones in tonight and next week, he might have what it takes to get up to the top spot. And then Jeff Wyatt also can count everything going on. He is in the 7th position, followed by Brent Bridgers and Gray Welsh. Now, not all these guys are on the racetrack tonight, so it's going to be interesting how it shuffles out. You only get 13 races counted. This is race number 16, so you can drop a couple, replace some bad ones with good ones if you do get that opportunity. But, it's getting down to the wire. This one and one more next week. We're at Spa-Francorchamps. That is the season finale, and we'll see who has what it takes to get to the end on the top. Let's make sure everything's working here. Yep, it looks like it is working. Looks like everything's rocking and rolling. We are running here live on Big Wizard TV. Big Wizard TV sponsored by Stair Fittings Incorporated. I want to send out a big shout out to Stair Fittings Inc. They're great. They're awesome. They can do everything you need for your stairs. They got the parts. They got the pieces. They got the stairs, the treads, the railings, the accessories. They got it all. They got it. Give them a shout. Look them up. Orders.stairfittings.com. Check them out. They're in southern Salt Lake City, in Utah, and they have the parts you need for your stairs and projects related to stairs. JNR Craftworks sponsors this series. This is the JNR Craftworks Contender Series on East to West Racing, and JNR Craftworks can be found at jnrcraftworks.com. Check those guys out for crafts, decorations, holiday items, all kinds of good stuff. They also make our trophies, but they have got all kinds of good stuff out there for you. We got a little bit left here in practice. It looks like I'm going to have a hard time seeing what we got going on because my screens are small. I am remote tonight. I'm trying to do the best I can with what I have, and it's small. Let's put it that way. It's like 3.5 minutes or so left in the practice session with Rick Wishon, our points leader, up on the top of the timing screen right now. He's got the quickest time here. I'm going to have to switch over to another screen here to see what these times are. Looks like Rick with a 1:45.9. That's cooking around here at Daytona and the GT3 cars. I think we'll be seeing some quicker times later on in that GT3 challenge race coming up after this one. But for the GT3 Contender, 1:45.9. Jeff Wyatt with a 1:46.0. Greg Prochnow with a 1:46.5. Brent Bridgers with a 1:46.8. It's good to see these guys up here on the racetrack. This is going to make the points pretty interesting with everybody out here on the racetrack. Jeff and Brent, both with lots of races to count, can move way up in the points. And then you've got Mooney. He's running 1:47.5, just a second and a half off the lead. He has got He wants to have a good finish tonight to replace possibly a bad finish earlier in the season, which is going to move him up with his points as well. 14 drivers so far on the racetrack, and with 2.5 minutes left in practice, they're going to jump into qualifying. They do have room for more. Lots of room out here in lots of room in the series for more drivers. We got a bunch of new guys out here on the series. We've got let's see, Chip Hansen back in the saddle. He hasn't been around for a little while. And then we've got some other new drivers. Doug Wright is out here. Mike Morkrid hasn't been out for quite a long time. Not new, but we haven't seen a lot of him. Brett Bay just getting out on the racetrack right now, so he should be a little quicker as he's getting some things figured out. He does have some new pedals on his race rig, and he's trying to figure out how to get those all working. Alex Good is on the racetrack. That is a very good thing for him. He will be trying to move up in the points and get some more goodies for himself. He's probably got the best chance of gaining second spot in the series. We'll see how that rolls out. All right, that looks like that's going to do it for practice. Rick Wishon still with that 1:45.9 on the top of the timing chart, followed by Jeff, Greg, Brett, Ryan, Brent, Mooney, Riv, and JP. Chip Hansen all in that top 10 spot. The practice is over. Cars will now line up and get ready to go for qualifying. Here we go. Out of the box they come. And we'll get underway here in just a second. Jeff Wyatt looks like he's going to be the first one rolling with his car, number 86 Ferrari. JNR Craftworks sponsored for the series. And Jeff is out almost on the racetrack. Just exiting pit lane. Long pit exit here. It's a very long pit lane. If you watch these guys come through, this whole section here is considered pit lane. Not until they go out here onto the actual track on the exit of this corner does it actually count as being on the racetrack. Right near those cones right there, you can start seeing those numbers pop into view on the map. That's when they're exiting pit lane onto the racetrack. Gotta switch over to catch what's going on. All right. We go around a lap here. Should we get one in? Let's jump in the car with Mr. Wyatt here. Let us see how he's doing. We'll jump in the car here. We're going to go around a lap. He's going around outside of Speedway turn 4 or turn 2 right now. He's going to be coming into the Le Mans chicane here just in a second. Hard on the brakes down into the chicane. Used to be called the bus stop. Now the Le Mans chicane. That is a new thing for Daytona as he exits out into Speedway 3. Let's jump in the car. We'll ride along and see if we can get a lapping. You can see the high banks, 31-degree banking here at Daytona through turn 4. That's Daytona 4 as he comes along through the front stretch. Another 23 degrees of banking as he hits this front start-finish line on the front straight. And then he's going to dive down hard on the brakes, move out the outside wall, dive down hard inside, turn down into turn 1. The toughest turn on the racetrack by far, turn one here at Daytona. Then through the chicane of 2 and 3, and then into the International Horseshoe section, turns 5, 6, and 7 through the infield here. A couple of hairpins and a kink. Try to keep this one flat out. If your tires are warmed up, you do not want to lift here in the kink and then down into the other horseshoe. And that is going to set you up for the exit of the infield through turn 7, as he's coming up on this now. And you've got to hit this one perfect, because this is the long one. From this point forward, you are flat on the gas all the way to the Le Mans chicane. And you don't want to be late on the gas there. You could lose precious time coming down this long straightaway or long section of the racetrack, the super speedway section. And you want to make sure you get all the time and every ounce of speed you can get as you're coming down these long straights. Exit of the chicane just as critically important, as you're just slowing down for a brief moment to jump through this left, right, left chicane and then back onto the super speedway, rocking out at full speed all the way to the start finish line. Comes off the banking onto the front straight, through the tri-oval and across the line, and that's a lap. And does Jeff get his time? He does, as Jeff goes quickest, but so far he's the only one across the line. Looks like Greg Prochnow has beat him out on the first lap, but Jeff does have more time here. He will get some more laps in. Let's jump back over to our TV view. These views here, you can see far away as they go through the International chicane. You see the cars way out there. Headlights in the distance. I can't hear the cars tonight, so I'm going to have to watch my screens carefully to be able to get you the action. We get just a quick little blip there between Jeff and the server. As he blips out, let's go watch this other screen, get a little bit better view. I won't be able to change anything, so we're just going to be watching Jeff a little bit. I think what we need to do is go around and find another driver. Rick, our points leader here in the Audi. Really long racetrack here. This is it's 3.7 miles here at Daytona as they add the infield to the super speedway here. As we see Rick going through the bus stop. Rick looking for his first time. Let's see what we got so far. Greg Prochnow on the top. Jeff, Brent, Mooney, Riv, Morkrid, JP, and Brett so far have set times. Here comes Rick coming across the start-finish line with a couple guys right in front of him. He's got Brett Fay and Doug White right in front of him. And Jeff Wyatt goes back on top of the pile. But that doesn't last long. Rick Wishon and Greg Prochnow have gotten by. Rick Wishon currently with that top speed in the session. And I wish I had a bigger monitor. I wish I had a bigger screen. 146.198. 0.2 of a second with Rick over the best time from Greg Prochnow. Jeff Wyatt also with 146. We got three guys in 146s right now, all within a half a second of the top spot, shooting for that pole position as they're going to get started here on the banking of this front stretch. It's going to be interesting to see how they get started. This is a standing start series, and as a standing start series, they're going to be starting on the banks. Going to be starting on the tri-oval banking. So it's about 20 degrees worth of banking, and they're going to be kind of slipping and sliding as they hit the gas, trying to keep control of the hot rods moving on down the runway here. Now, this is interesting here. Rick is pretty close. He's only a second and a half behind Greg. Might be able to take advantage of the draft here because the draft is strong on this super speedway. Very, very large pull behind these cars. They're within a second and a half, and now he is well within a second. Rick could definitely be getting a pole here. He could be getting a really good run and getting down to those 145s. Maybe a little bit where he shouldn't be. He's that close and be able to use the draft here in qualifying. Everybody else has that same opportunity, but nobody else is quite that close on the racetrack. Maybe the 87 of Chip Hansen. The Rick Wishon goes through once again, and that does click into the 145s. That's a 145.957. But Jeff Wyatt does it without a pull. Jeff Wyatt with a 146.238 moves him back up into second spot. And that's outside of front row as they get started here in about 7 or so minutes. We've got that much time left in the qualifying session. They can go in and get new tires, check up the amount of fuel they got. There's plenty of time to get it warmed up, get around a couple more times. They will not be able to finish their lap, however. Once they get onto once the timer hits 0, it's going to shut it down. So that's all they're going to get. So once they get to that spot, it's over. Looks like Rick does have a little bit of advantage, but he is definitely in the draft zone now behind Greg Prochnow. He's definitely going to be using this up. As well as the number 7 of Brent Bridgers, the number 317 of Brett Fay, right behind the 92 of Mark Sherman. These guys are really close together. They're going to come out of the super speedway real close together, and they're going to be bunched up in a little pack. And that is going to increase some speeds here. They're going to have some quicker times as they're coming around. This time around, if they have enough fuel to get to the start-finish line. Some of these guys just set it up so they can run their out lap and a couple laps on fuel. Some of them set up the session to get through the whole qualifying session in one round of fuel. The other thing they have to watch out for is they have to watch those track limits. If you go across the line, if you're coming across through the trial or through the Le Mans chicane or through the International Horseshoe or anywhere else on that infield, and you go across the line, you will get off-track penalty, and that will negate your lap time for that lap. Here comes Rick coming across the line. Greg Prochnow pushes up into the 145.9s, and Rick does not improve with a 145.957. So Greg actually got the advantage off of that draft, and he is in the front of that pair. Let's see if anything happens here. It looks like to me Brett Fay may have picked up a little advantage here as he went through. Brett Fay moves up into fourth spot on the list with a 146.3. He may have had a little drafting help last time around. We'll see how these guys are finishing up this qualifying session. Just 5 minutes to go, and we'll let them keep cruising around here. Let's watch this action back here with the 92. As he's trying to chase down, or at least stay in the draft, with Brett Fay right in front of him there in the Porsche. Greg Prochnow in the Porsche out in front. Rick Wishon running in the Audi. Jeff Wyatt running in the Ferrari. Brett Fay in the Porsche. Alex Good looks like he's running in the Mercedes tonight. And then Mooney in the Ferrari. Ryan Fry in the Porsche. Brent Bridgers in the Audi. Jeff Peters in the Porsche. Is that a Porsche? Looks like a Porsche. Let's double check that, because Jeff he always runs a paint job that looks like a Porsche. This time he's actually running a Porsche paint job on a Porsche. Very strange indeed. Mark Sherman in the 92 car. He's in the Ferrari. Doug Wright in the Porsche. Chip Hansen in the Ferrari. And Rib Spalding, he is running in an Audi. Let's check out Rib in the 77. In the pit lane, yes. Mike Morkrid also in the Ferrari. Good to have Mike out on the racetrack with us tonight. Haven't seen him out here for quite some time. Mark Sherman throws down a good time. I wonder if that little help from Brett Fay in front of him is giving him a little nudge there, giving him a little help. He's not too close, but he's a little bit close. He's a second or so behind on the racetrack. Might be enough just to get just that little bit of a toe as Brett pulls off. And Jeff Wyatt kind of lays back a little bit, letting Mark go. Maybe Jeff is going to try to see if he can get some of that magic behind somebody, and he's going to sit here and stay behind Mark Sherman. Chip Hansen with a great lap right there, moves himself up into this 8th position. No, that's 9th. Chip doing really well out there. Chip running the 87 car. Haven't seen him on the racetrack for a little while, but he's running this 87 car here. It looks like he's running the South Carolina Gamecocks paint job. Now, Chip is firefighter. Thank you, Chip, for being out there. He's also an Emmy award-winning producer on television. So good job, Chip, grabbing the Emmys. That's a tall task. Let's put it that way. As he loses it coming out of turn 7, very commonplace. Unfortunately, to lose some ground. Mike Markwood cranking out the laps, going through turn 1 here. Let's see if Jeff Wyatt has improved his time. He's coming across the line now. Currently in 3rd spot. He's coming around to see if he can get any better time. And does not. He does not. I think that might be it. He's got just enough time. Jeff has just enough time to do one more lap. But we'll see if he makes any mistake at all, and the lap will not count. Right now, Greg Prochnow has the provisional pole, 145.953. Rick Wishon back by 4 1,000ths of a second, 145.957. Jeff Wyatt, 2/10 off of that pace with a 146.221. Jeff trying to make up some ground here. He's right behind Mark Sherman on the racetrack as they go through the International Horseshoe. Maybe Jeff can get a pole. Oh, he has to go around. That's going to slow him down. Even a 10th or 2 is going to make all the difference in the world. If you don't know how much of a tenth of a second is, oh, and Jeff comes around. That's going to be doing it for his qualifying session. That will be session over for him. Greg Prochnow up on the top of the scoring chart. And it looks like Greg's going to hold that unless Rick can pull one off. Let's see where he's at. He's not going to have enough time to get around. So that is it. Looks like Greg Prochnow has the pole. And Brett Fay might have a chance at it in the 317. He is in the pit lane. And this one is all but done. Greg Prochnow with the pole. Rick Wishon on the outside of the front row. Jeff Wyatt, Brett Fay on row 2. Alex Good, Micah Mooney on row 3. Ryan Fry and Brett Bridgers on row 4. So we're going to line them up and launch them out. We're going to get everybody on the road here in just a second as we have finished the qualifying session. Checkered flag is out. They're getting ready to go green. They're going to line up right here on this front stretch. You're going to see the cars populating into the field right at a standing stop right in front of the start-finish line. So interesting it will be. Try to get a good position as we enter turn 1. Turn 1 is going to be a little nuts as they're diving down inside. They're going to go side by side. You're going to have a couple cars are going to slip and slide here as they get in their launch area. I don't really have a really good camera at this start, but I'm seeing a few cars left to drop in the session. Looks like a couple left to go. Everybody's getting ready to rock and roll here. As soon as all the cars are in or the timer runs out, one way or the other, we're going to get this thing started. Everybody checking out their fuel levels, making sure it's perfect and ready to go for the race. Don't quite have the lights on yet. Greg is out in the front. You can see him there in the multicolored black and pink Porsche. And there's Rick. We're waiting for a couple more. Alex and Doug. Let's see if they're going to start. There's Alex. And there's the lights. Look like Mooney might be missing the start here. The lights go red. Now the lights go green. And away they go. There's the green flag. A little puff of smoke as they go. And there's that spin. Greg Prochnow does spin just a little bit off the line. And that allows Rick Wishon to take the point, diving down into turn 1. He's followed by Brett Bay. Greg White trying to get right back on him. He's side by side now for third, and he lets that position go. Jeff Wyatt takes over. The battle up front. Greg Crush now. Oh, and that's a contact. That's Greg in contact with the 86 car. That's going to be... He's going to take a minute to get that thing back up and running again. Not what you wanted to see there. Let's go up to Brett Fay out in front. He's chasing down Rick Wishon as those two guys drop to the back of the path. That isn't good. They might have an opportunity to make some good out of that bad if they can get back up into Q10 or in that vicinity. You got to be in the top 10 for the invert. There's only 14 cars out here, and there's 9 laps in the sprint, so there is a chance that these guys will get out running. Let's see what's going on here. No. Sorry about that. The heat timer is not going down, and I don't like this. We've got a timer of 15 minutes out there, and the timer is not moving. So let's see what happens. We've got to get... The timers did not go for some reason. Let's see if it clicks off when they get across the start-finish line here. But for some reason, the timers didn't start when the drivers went across the line. It could just be on my overlays. Let's hope that's the case. They're going now as they dive down into turn 1 for the second lap of the race. Not really sure what happened there with the timers. We are going to run 9 laps. And 9 laps will be really close to the 15-minute mark. We'll see where we end up. That was not the intent. That was the whole thing. But yeah, I wanted to check that out. Rick Wishon out front after 1 lap. Rick Wishon out in the front. Brett Fay in second spot. Michael Mooney in third. Brent Bridgers in fourth. Jeff Peters, Chip Hansen, Mark Sherman, Mike Markard, Rib Spalding, and Ryan Fry are your top 10. And my relay is stopped. I can't see a thing. Hopefully that didn't hurt. What's going on in the race? There it goes. Somehow I've lost the monitor. That's going to be interesting. And let's see what happened to Greg Crosnow all the way back into P13. Greg not with the start he wanted. Mike Morford looks like he's had a little issue in the 46 car. As Mike drops back a couple positions, and he is running in P10. Jeff Wyatt gets by Ryan Fry. Let's see if we can catch this action. And as they come out of the bus stop down through Speedway 3 and 4, across the start-finish line, Jeff Wyatt noses out Ryan and into turn 1, and that's a pass for P7. Nice job, Jeff, after that first lap incident with Greg Crosnow moving himself back up through the field. He is in 7th spot and making some ground. Out front, Rick Wishon has this one in control at the moment. He's got Brett Fay in tow, and the two of them starting to pull away from third place, Michael Mooney. They have a 6-second gap to the leader from third spot. Mooney in the 88 car here, and the familiar painted white with the red and dark stripe through the center on the white background here. His Ferrari, we've been seeing that most of the time this year. He is being closely chased down by Brent Bridgers. Mooney through the bus stop. Mooney knows this racetrack very well. He's driven it quite a few times And Brent has some problems there as they go through the bus stop trying to hang with him. He's not too far behind, but that little bobble there allows, and then we have a lead change for the lead. Lead change coming across the stripe. Let's see if we can catch that. Is that just the same thing of a nice draft? Brett comes off the bus stop, gets a great run around the outside at the start-finish line. And Doug Wright, looks like Doug has been in the incident. As you see, Brett Fay take the lead and battle with Rick through the international bus stop and hang on to that. Brett doesn't have it quite yet. He's got it. Right now he has the lead. He and Rick battling side by side for this top spot as they're going into the second horseshoe. A little deep here. Can they get out of this side by side? Rick with a run is going to get along the side here as they're going to hit that turn 7. Very critical corner here. Rick around the outside has the better line as they advance off of that spot. But Brett not giving that up as these guys are fighting here. Jeff Wyatt has now had an incident. Let's go back and see what's going on here. Is that self-inflicted? Jeff coming through the horseshoe, being followed by Ryan Fry. Jeff just loses it coming out of the horseshoe and goes into the infield. Jeff not going to be happy with this one as he's had a couple incidents already, drops him back to P11. Like I said, he could still salvage a little bit from this by getting himself back into P10, just slightly in front of where he is right now. Let's see if Brent has any luck catching up with Mooney now this time, as he also has Jeff Peters right behind him here in the 66 car. These guys are fairly close together. Let's see if we can get a better camera angle here to show you how the distances here. They're not that far apart, as this is for 3rd, 4th, and 5th as they dive down into turn 1. And you can see, oh, and there's a car wide. That was a lap down car, so no. Well, maybe. Let's see what we can get here. These guys need to change numbers on me. Brent Bridgers has dropped back. Brent goes back. Didn't lose any spots, but did lose some time. He was catching up again to Mooney, and now in the clutches of Jeff Peters here. Jeff coming through that second international horseshoe, or second horseshoe on the infield, getting ready to hit turn 7, and they are not alone. Mark Sherman is right behind him as this battle has tightened up. The battle for 3rd is now 4 cars. The battle out front still where it was. Rick Wishon right behind Brett Fay as they're coming down in the international horseshoe. Rick staying right close, keeping his distance, but staying close. He might be holding on there, trying to hold that spot until the end of the last lap to see if he can get around on that final lap. Just stay close, stay clean, and try to make a pass late in the race so he can't get back at you. Mooney, however, is in 3rd position, and he has a train behind him. He's coming up on a lap car. That looks like OGR teammate Chip Hansen right in front of him. Chip has gone a lap down. They're going through turn 1 right now. Chip goes wide. Mooney gets the run. He's going to have to get by him clean here. And Chip kind of moves over a little bit. Tight side by side through that international horseshoe. They may have made contact there. The 2 Ferraris going side by side as they go down through the kink. This is not the place to go side by side. And Chip lets him go. Chip being a lap down lets him go. But that allows Brett Bridgers to jump on past as well. And that's 2 cars past him. He lets the rest of the field go through. There's 4 cars right together there. It's now this battle here with the 92 of Mark Sherman. This one here, he has just gotten by. No, he's still right behind Jeff Peters. through that exchange, Jeff managed to keep P5, marking P6. Laps are ticking away. This is only about 15, 16 minutes here on this race, and they're going by quick. Let's see if I get my, oh, I do have my other monitor back. 6 minutes left in the race. Lap 6 of 9, and they are leaders coming around Speedway 3 right now. Be finishing up this lap. You watch Mark Sherman come through the bus stop. He is in 6th position, closely following Jeff Peters. Got a run coming through the tri-oval onto the start-finish line. Tough place to pass. It's not a bad place to get the run if you're coming across the line for a photo finish, but tough to do as you're going around the outside of turn 1. He gets back in line. Let's see, Brett Fay out in the front, but as you can see, not by much, as Rick Wishon has glued himself to the bumper. And Rick going around the outside here as they go into the second half of the horseshoes. Let's see if he sticks right there with him. Greg Prochnow just ran the fastest lap. And Brett Riggers and Mooney are now side by side. That's neither one of them. Mooney's still out in front, holding on to that position. Gets a little loose coming out of there. And Rick Wishon does take the lead out in front of the race over Brett Fay. Let's see, I think he just gets a run on him here. Coming down into the bus stop chicane, Le Mans chicane. And just kind of gets by as they hit the brakes. Rick Wishon just in front here in first position. Jeff up to P9. Greg Prochnow still in the P11. He is still not recovered all the way. He is trying right now to get into that 10th position as these guys right now are battling for that last transfer spot. Greg has gotten through there to the bus stop and he makes a little bobble. And he goes wide. That allows Alex Good to get back by. Greg's going to try to hold on to that and not let it fly off the track. Oh. And he stops. Trying to let other traffic by and not have a problem, but as the car normally does, spins and falls to the bottom of the racetrack. Mike Markred misses that action as these guys keep going. Greg Prochnow not having the night he was looking for. As he goes back by Mike Markred, for some reason, Mike was not moving. He was kind of in the grass. Doug Wright back in 13th position in the Gulf-colored Porsche 911 GT3R 992 edition. So through the field with just 2 to go. Rick Wishon closely followed, as you can see, by Brett Fay. These two haven't left each other's side since the start of the race. Brett moving alongside as they get up into the bus stop braking area. There's not really room for 2 at a time here, but neither one wants to give. Rick takes the advantage and gets to the bus stop first. Rick out front, Mark Sherman and Jeff Peters having a dispute over who has P5, and it looks like Mark Sherman is taking that spot away. And that is all on the draft as they enter into the bus stop. And as soon as this happens, Mooney goes wide. It's a little bit of a slowdown, and Brett Bridges goes around the outside. Let's see if Brent can hold on to that. And Rick Wishon and Brett Fay battling back and forth as they dive into turn 1 once again. And it does look like Brent's going to take away that 3rd position, and Brent up to the podium position with Mooney in tow. Brent battling back through the kink. Rick around the outside as they go through the horseshoe. Ryan Fry gets by Jeff Peters. As they come into the horseshoe, Jeff Peters going around the outside. Nope, Ryan looks like he's got that one. Oh, and a lot of action right in front of him. Mooney right near with Mark Sherman. Almost gets together with Mark Sherman. Brett Bridgers right there. All these guys together now. The battle for third is now 5 cars as Chip Hansen has some problems on his own on the racetrack. With this battle here, Mooney is in 4th. Let's see, we got Brett Bridgers in 3rd, followed closely by Mooney. There you can see the train right there coming through. That is Michael Mooney in 4th, followed by Mark Sherman in 5th. And these cars are all right together. Ryan Fry now in 6th, and Jeff Peters in 7th. Ryan Fry's got my Jeff Peters. My timing and scoring on the screen doesn't have that. There's Jeff. Yeah. There it goes. Now it's corrected. As the number 66. And that's the end of it. That is the last lap, and that is the end of the race. Let's see if we can watch. Seems like the 87 coming by. That is the 87 coming by. Rick Wishon takes the front spot. He's got the win. Brett Fay takes P2. Brent Bridgers in 3rd. Michael Mooney, Mark Sherman, Ryan Fry, Jeff Peters, Riv Spalding, Jeff Wyatt, Alex Good round out the top 10. Greg Prochnow, Doug Wright, Mike Morford, Chip Hansen are your field. That's going to put Greg Prochnow and Alex Good on the front row for the feature. As this one's pretty much done, we're watching the last 2 cars come around. Doug Wright's coming across the finish line right now, and Mike Morford is going to finish his lap as we complete this feature or this heat race. Ryan Fry got by Jeff Peters right at the start-finish line. And that's going to throw it over into the warm-up session. 3 minutes of warm-up. Let's see if maybe we can drop down in and say hi to the drivers real quick. And see how everybody's doing.
Put me up. No, that just put me up at the front.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good thing.
Flipping, blipping, blipping, blopping.
Blip, blip, blippity blop.
Brent,
I was running as best as I could with the
hey
wrong
guys,
gear in the car.
Ron in the broadcast booth. How are we doing out there tonight?
Awesome.
We're doing awesome, Ron. How are you?
I'm doing great. Watching some good racing action from my angle. Looks like you guys had a lot of fun on that one. Good battle there up front all the way through. Rick takes the checkered flag first. Good job.
Yep.
Nice race, Rick.
Thank you. Yeah, it was, yeah.
Get max points on that one. Brett was trying to steal him from me. He was battling back and forth, catching that draft. Looks like some laps, one of you had it, some laps the other one. So nice job, Brett, staying right there with him.
Thank you. It's fun.
Looked like a lot of fun out there. And then the battle for third just couldn't be decided until the final. So, good job. I actually, right now, after I've left the screen, don't even know who got it.
I did.
There you go. Brent got it. He got by Mooney late in the race. And was that a slowdown on the bus stop, Mooney, that did that? Or was that just him getting a good run?
There was a slowdown on the bus stop that I was trying to bleed. And also I changed the gearing in it, and I had no top end. I was red limiting down through the 3 and 4. So,
yeah, Speedway 3 and 4, top end needed. Hey, good race, everybody. I'm going to jump back in the booth, but just wanted to check in, say hi, and let you guys know I'm out here.
Happy birthday, Ron.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah, it's not my birthday, but hey, thanks anyway.
Oh,
come
someone
back
told me it
around
was.
October for that one.
Somebody told you a story.
Yeah, I guess so.
Don't
a
believe
lot
an old guy telling you a story. It's only half true half the time.
Hey, it's
That's,
just an early birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah. My own birthday today. Thanks for that. Yeah, good running out there. Everybody looked like they're having a good time. I'm going to jump back in the booth. You guys got a minute or so to practice still, and we're going to do this all over again with, I think that puts Alex on the pole. Was it Alex? No, it's not Alex.
I think it's Riv.
Riv.
No,
It's Riv. No.
Alex. It is Alex. It is Alex.
It's Alex.
Showing
Alex,
Alex,
Jeff.
me, Riv, JP, Ryan, Mark, Mooney.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Hmm.
Let's see how this plays out as we get going for the next session. All right, guys, have fun out there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, there's the guys out in the race checking things out. You know what I ought to do? I ought to go check my stream and see if anybody's watching. As we get them lined up here, let's see if we've got a car selected. Nobody's on the racetrack yet. Oh, yeah, there's a couple VPs on the track. These guys getting the cars on the racetrack right now. Problem is, when I go to see something, I can't tell what's going on. Hey, there's another driver there, Vortex Gaming, getting ready to race with us next season. That's cool to have. Yeah, unfortunately, Richard, on this one, I have no control. I have no control over the audio because I'm not at home. I'm remote, and my audio is getting mixed in, so my microphone is not able to be cranked. I wish it could, but it can't. Maybe I can do something, though. Let's see what I can do. Give you a heads up on that. Let's see what I can do. The start is on. The race is going. Alex out in the front. Come on. The 79 out in front, followed by Jeff Wyatt, Rip Spalding so far. Everybody in a line right now. Alex has the point, but he goes a little bit wide. That's going to let Jeff Wyatt alongside. There's the battle right now through the kink. This is lap 1 of the race. This is not the best place to go flat out in the kink. They are pushing hard. And that is Brian Fry in third there with Jeff Peters back a little bit here. Let me sort order here. I got him out of the wrong order here. Man, as Jeff Wyatt gets a great exit off of turn 7, it looks like he's going to take the lead down the long street. As Mike Morkard and Riv Spalding, looks like Riv is dropping through the field. Let's see if we can find out what happened there. As I'm going to try to adjust my microphone. Yes, I am. Is it possible? Is it? Don't know. Gonna try. No, it's not. Output volume. Maybe. Input. No, that's input. Sorry, can't adjust it at all. Unfortunately, not able to adjust that audio during this session simply because I am a couple states away from home. And Alex and Jeff in this battle up front, side by side, all the way around for lap 1 as they cross the line. Alex is in the front. As they go into turn 1, Mooney gets by Jeff Peters. That's right behind this action. Oh, and Jeff Peters into the wall. Jeff Peters has an incident in turn 1. Let's see if we can catch if that was assisted and just on his own. Oh, he just spins on his own. Luckily, doesn't hit anybody. But man, that was a really good run for Jeff off the first lap there, and has a problem going into turn 1. Here's that battle for the lead as Rib Spalding again losing ground here. Off the racetrack. As he's coming through the international bus stop here. Their international horseshoe and just loses it. That's going to cause some damage. He's going to have a hard time getting back to the pits with that one. And he has had to tow. Alex Good out in front, followed by Jeff Wyatt and Ryan Fry. These three, you can throw a blanket over them as they're on lap 2, all right together here through the bus stop. This is through the Monster King. Rick Wishon dropping through the field. Let's see if we can have what happened to Rick. Hits the bus stop and gets it just off a little bit on that exit. Brings it around, hits the wall hard. That is going to throw Rick back to the pit lane, and that is going to be tough to recover for Rick. He'll have to come and get that damage fixed, and it's too early in the race to take that pit stop and hit the fuel you need to finish and lose. You may have to come back in again. It's going to cost a lot of time. And the Daytona is not the most friendly location to make extra pit stops. Jeff Wyatt in the Ferrari here, he has Alex Good in front of him and Ryan Fry right behind. As Brett Fay gets by Greg Prochnow. Greg Prochnow comes back and battles back, gets right back in front of Brett Fay. That battle is still ongoing. That is a dispute for P6 at the moment. As these guys are down into P7, coming out onto the super speedway. And Brett is going to try to see if he can get any advantage with the draft. Well, the battle here looks like it's now not just 2 cars, but 3 cars. Brett Fay and Greg Prochnow have thrown Brent Bridgers into the mix. And the 3 of these guys are still trying to figure out who wants this spot more. And that is a battle for 5. Alex Good has dropped back from the lead. Alex now in the 4th spot. Jeff Wyatt out front, followed by Ryan Fry and Mooney in 3rd. As this battle here, 3 cars together trying to win the bus stop at the same time isn't going to work too well, as they decide to make it single file going in through the bus stop. You can probably make adjustments on the audio of the system during the break between the 2 races. I'll see if I can do that. Drop the master volume from the bass down a little bit. While it's on the air, I have no way of adjusting the sound. Sorry about that, guys. Connections are limited. Being away from home. Whoa, Alex Good with a problem. What happened, Alex? Oh, loses the handle coming off of turn 3 into the international orchard. And it comes around. Sometimes that happens. That is what they call the GT3 flat spin. And it's no fun. The car just comes around. There's nothing you can do about it at all. He backs up, tries to get the car pointed the right direction so he's not interrupting anyone as he gets back on the racetrack. And away he goes. Jeff Peters in tow here. As Alex Good drops back to P9. Jeff Wyatt out in the front. Ryan Fry not quite able to hang on now that Jeff's out in the clean air. Ryan about a second back here in P2. May have had another issue with the 77 car. No, he's doing all right. He's doing all right. He's going through the infield right now. Let's catch up live. Into the bus stop. Daytona seems like a pretty simple racetrack. You know, it's a lot of tri-oval, a lot of big, wide open spaces out there, but it is not. The corners and the braking at this racetrack are nearly the toughest out in racing. You know, they do the 24 hours of Daytona, the Rolex 24 every January here at Daytona, and it is a very challenging race. This racetrack, turn 1, turn 7, the bus stop, or the Le Mans chicane, very challenging corners as you have to get perfectly onto the brakes every time around, or you will lose a ton of time. So these guys coming around here making it look easy, it is not easy. As you've seen, a couple of them just come around down the road as they're coming around through the horseshoe or onto turn 7, you know, just carry too much speed or hit the gas just slightly too early. As Brett Fay makes the move here. Greg Croshnell has what is going on, Greg? Just as we talk about it, Greg comes around in turn 7, spins it around, gets back going again. That is what happens. That is Daytona. That is the tough part of Daytona. Brett Fay having an issue. Brett and Brent back through the field. Brett and Brent, as their nose to tail, Brent goes down on the inside, trying this pass into turn, the bus stop turn, and that does not work. Two of them hard into the wall, and that is going to slow their night down. And that is also going to make Jeff very happy as he is pulling away now. Ryan Fry in second spot, 2 seconds back, and the rest of the field, see you later. As Brent Bridgers and Brett Fay get together and slide into the wall in the bus stop. And that's going to send them to pit lane. Whether they can make it back on their own power or have to tow back, that is undetermined at this time, but they are coming in for repairs because both of those cars hit the wall very hard. And Alex Good again with another problem. Alex with another spin. Bounces off the wall in turn 2 and 3. Comes through that infield. He's got to get back over onto the racetrack or that'll be a major penalty. He gets back on and get going again. But yeah, that is rough stuff. Alex having a tough night. Still in P8 with all the other incidents going on, but not running the race he wanted to have. Ryan Fry, check this out. Coming in P2 right now. Doing some great laps around the racetrack. He is running in the 146s right now, just about the same time as the leader. 2.5 seconds the gap for first position, but he has a nearly 5-second gap to the next driver. That's Michael Mooney in P3. Mooney in the 88 car, running in third position, doing some nice clean racing here in his Ferrari. Maybe Brent Bridges, maybe Brent was trying to drive it back. Brent not having the night he wanted. Now back to P11. after that. 2 cars trying to go side by side into the bus stop. Not easy to do. I have seen it. It can be done. It's just not easy to do. As Greg in the 212 gets by the number 87. Let's see what happened here. 87 goes wide into turn 1. Probably a little bit late on the brakes. Oh no, he goes out wide, giving him some space. But yeah, he's a little late on the brakes. He goes a little bit wide there. Misses the apex at turn 1 and lets Greg sneak right by. Greg now takes over P4, and he's going to try to run the leaders down. He's got a gap there. He's got some work to do as the field's starting to spread out here. This is lap 9 of 17. I think it's hard to tell. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Let's not do that. It means I can hear the race, but that also means I can echo it through my microphone. Good times, good times. Greg Crouch now up to P4 now. Jeff Wyatt in command of this race. Jeff Wyatt way out front. 2.5 seconds the gap. And Clean has seen the front of the field starting on lap 1. Has not looked back. Has the lead. Has the run. Has the lap times. Now he just has to have everything else go his way. Ryan Fry in second spot in 4th. Followed by Mooney in 3rd as this field has spread out. Kind of started to run, get their spots and running now. And that's Greg Kosh now in 4th. Chip Hansen in 5. Rick Wishon in P6. And he just came across the line and clicked off the fastest lap of the race so far. And that is a 1:46.337. So these guys are not running those qualifying time laps. They do not need to pit for fuel here in this series. So if they're pitting, it's for damage. It's for anything that's going on with the race car. And there are a few of them that have come in and needed to do that. Rick here in P6. He is right behind Chip Hansen in that South Carolina Gamecocks paint job there on the Ferrari. Chip in the 87, hails from the great state of Florida, but Chip, a definite South Carolina fan. If he didn't live in Florida, he would live in South Carolina. Loves the place. Oh, and Alex coming around again. Allows Mark Sherman the place to pass, and Mark gets by. And that's a position that is P8. Alex Good drops back to P9. And now P10 as Mike Markert also gets by. Mike Markert running a pretty good race today. Real quiet. Back to us for the first full race of his season. He's got Alex on his tail, but Mike doing some great laps here. Got a little pressure. He's not probably not used to this too much, but he does know how to race on these ovals. These super speedways. Mike is NASCAR type racing champion in his own right. He is out here running these laps with us in the road series as Rick Wishon sets another 46.3 fastest lap of the race. Alex trying to get the run, doesn't have top end speed going down into turn 1 here. Probably does have a little better handling. He's down on the inside of turn 1. Can he take that apex, take the spot away? Can. Alex Good takes away P9. Mike Markford back to P10. Mike running a nice clean race today. No issues. Keeping on, trucking on. Whoa, as he goes a little bit wide there. He should be able to hang on to it. Hang on to it, Mike. His ego's just like, we won't count that against you. Whoa, as these guys going at it. This is Rick Wishon and Chip Hansen. This is for P5. Rick Wishon around the outside on the exit of turn 7. Gets a good run. He does not have the draft. He's allowing this side-by-side action to lose the draft. And now he's going to pick it up again right before they get to the brake zone or the bus stop. Side-by-side into the bus stop is never a good idea. Rick holds Rick holds back and waits for a better time. If he gets a good run out of the bus stop, he should be able to make this pass as they go down through the trial. We'll see. We'll see how slippery they make the cars. You can adjust the wing angles and you can adjust the downforce. If Chip has a good downforce car, with very little downforce and able to run those laps, then there's no way another car can get by him if he's just laying that wing flat and running. That's a very difficult pass. Rick dives down late into the brake zone into turn 1, takes away the spot. Can he hold on? He's hard on the brakes, see the car wiggling, but he does it, hangs on to it, and that is position as Rick Wishon takes away P5. Chip Hansen goes back to P6. Jeff Wyatt back out to the front with Jeff Wyatt. He still has that lead, but that lead has not grown. That lead has actually shrunk. The distance now to Ryan Fry is only 1.9 seconds. So Ryan doing some great laps, picking up some great lap times. His last time around, let's see what the comparison is between him and Jeff. As the times go across the top rolling times are the last lap times. So as we get by the end of the field here with Brent Bay in 14th, looks like Jeff 147. Ryan with his fastest lap of the race so far, last time around, making some great time and trying to close that gap. Just 1.9 seconds, the distance between first and second. As Chip Hansen has an issue, comes around, and Greg Prochnow loses the grip, loses the handle, and goes off the racetrack. Let's see what happened there. Was that an exit of the bus stop problem? It does appear that that's the case. He hits the bus stop, just catches that inside of it wrong, gets offline and has to use the grass to bring that one through and get back on the super speedway. And Chip again having an issue. He is pulling into the pit lane, I believe. Chip coming down to the pit lane. He may be parking the car. He is stopped in the pit lane. As Alex gets by. And Ryan closing the gap just a little bit more. Lap 12 of 17 laps so far. Ryan moving this up into 1.5 seconds now. Is Jeff out front, Ryan, followed by Mooney, Greg, Rick, JP, Mark, Alex, and Markred. Jeff's still holding on to the lead. Jeff's done lots and lots of laps here at Daytona. Very skilled driver in his own right. Not expecting any reason for him to relinquish this lead. Ryan Fry moving as best he can, trying to get some of those spots back. Ryan currently in second place, not spots back, trying to get up to the leader. Ryan in second place, just barely a second and a half away, trying to keep that gap close, but not able to make any gains this last time around. So we've got 4 to go on lap 13. 4 to go next time by. 13 of 17. And let's see if my monitors are working. They are very, very slow. Very slow monitors. I could go back to a different camera angle, I suppose. Car slightly farther away. Might be able to hear me a little bit better. Always a challenge trying to get the audio right in there. Jeff Wyatt out front, followed by Ryan Fry in second spot. That's the gap. You can see the difference. As you can see the two cars coming around Super Speedway's turn 4 and approaching the start-finish line. Here's Jeff Peters. He's running in 6th position. He has a little bit of a gap between him and Mark Sherman, but that could be a battle before the end of the race. Rick Wishon got by him a little bit. Let's see what's going on. Chip Hansen is in another incident after coming out of the pit lane. Chip not happy in turn 1 as that looked like Brent Bridgers went by. Nope, wasn't Brent Bridgers. That was Rib Spallman. As we should have stayed with Brent Bridgers. Something happened to Brent. Brent not having the race he started with. He was up in the front battling for the lead and now back into P11. Our leader and out by a second and a half. And Jeff Wyatt trying to be Ryan Fry trying to run him down, but not able to do it quite yet. Still that 1.5 second gap and then 10 seconds back. Who is running in 3rd place. Greg Prochnow in the 212 is back up into P4 after his early on problems. But running along pretty good here. Rick Wishon has moved himself into P5. And Riv in the 77 is an issue. Bus stop. Bus stop, bus stop, bus stop, boom. Not a good spot. Not a good place. Mark Sherman, haven't really paid much attention to him so far this race. Running pretty quiet. He did have to go into the pits early on, but out here running P7. Just cranking out some laps. His quick lap so far, 147.1. That was his last lap around. Jeff Wyatt in 146.5s and Rib into the pits after that incident. Jeff Peters, E6, putting some laps in, doing some good time out there. Staying clean on the racetrack. Jeff Peters, guitar player, bass guitar player from North, well, I don't know if he's from there. They're currently living in the Southeast. I'm not sure if it's Virginia, South Carolina, somewhere over there in the Southeast. I think it's South Carolina. Jeff Peters, the number 66 guy. Also a member of Old Guy Racing. Rick running him in 74, a little recovery from earlier on. But, running some pretty good laps. As we just leave Jeff Peters, he is missing some corners there. Off the racetrack slightly. It doesn't look like he's losing any time. And it looks like Morkard has had another issue in the International Horseshoe. Tough night for Mike, but glad to have him back on the racetrack. Good to have all the drivers out here making it fun for everybody to watch and race. And Ryan Fry just sets the fastest lap of the race. And look at that. The gap to the front has closed. Ryan using the draft to his advantage, picks up the quickest lap of the race, and he is now threatening with just a couple laps to go. As they're going through the infield, this is lap 16, 17. So once they finish this one, there's only one more time around the circuit. So if anything's going to happen, he's got to make it happen now. We'll keep an eye on this battle to the finish. using that draft, coming down through the trial or the turn 2 of the super speedway down into the bus stop. He does have the outside line. Jeff protecting on the inside. Ryan smartly does not try to make the pass there, but man, that was close as they enter into the bus stop. Jeff had to take a little tighter angle on that. But Ryan with a great exit. It looks like he's got a really good run. He may want to wait till next lap to do this, but he's going to go around, take a peek as he's looking around the outside and see if he can make it happen as they come through the trial the side by side. Who's going to have it in turn 1? Ryan Fry takes the strike. He's got the position at the line, but it's one more to go. This is the final lap. Jeff Wyatt dives down into turn 1. Ryan knows what he has to do. He has to get back into that same position as they go out of the bus stop. He's got to have that line on him, and that is going to be the ticket to win it. If he can get that launch off the bus stop, he's got it. If not, he's going to be right where he is as they cross the line. Ryan Fry and Jeff Wyatt going at it. Rick Wishon just gets past Greg Prochnow for 4th. But we'll stay here on this lead battle as they're on the final lap of the race. White flag has gone. And we are rock and rolling on the final lap, lap 17 of this contest. Ryan right on the bumper going through the International Horseshoe. He's just about pushing him. Oh, and Ryan spins in the horseshoe, trying to get out of the gas too soon. Spins it back around, tries to stay ahead of Mooney as Mooney has P2. Now as he goes, no, that wasn't him. There he is. There's Mooney. Oh, he's going to have a hard time staying in front of him for its 2nd spot. We'll see how that works out. Jeff Wyatt dodges the bullet as Ryan spins on the final lap going through the International Horseshoe. Oh, what a tough break for Ryan. And a great opportunity here for Jeff just to cruise and smooth and no worries as he's coming out of the bus stop for the final time down through super speedways 3 and 4 and across the start finish line. And that'll be it, a win for Jeff Wyatt from Old Guy Racing here. Oh, man, that was close. Let's see what happens now in the back here with Ryan. Can he stay in front of Mooney? As Mooney is got to be close here. Oh, Mooney's still a couple seconds back. So no luck for Mooney to get by. Ryan is going to end up in P2. Here comes Jeff Wyatt. Crosses the line first. Ryan Fry in 2nd. Michael Mooney is going to be coming by. Here he is right here in 3rd spot coming across the line. Followed by Greg Prochnow, who just got passed by Rick Wishon. And that is for 4th position. Rick takes that spot away. And Greg takes 5th. Mark Sherman takes P6. And Jeff Peters in 7th. Oh, Jeff Peters gets him at the line. Jeff Peters gets him at the line. Let's see if we can catch that. Oh, Mark must have ran out of fuel. He runs out of fuel as they come across. Looks like he's already down on the flat spot. Oh, that was going into the trial, but he must have ran out of gas. Alex Good takes P8. Mike Morkard 9th. Chip Hansen in 10th position. Let's jump down into the lobby, see if we can catch these guys and talk to them for a minute.
Oh, the screw's back out.
Ooh.
Great race. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun watching. Nice job. Man, Jeff Wyatt, man, you had some challengers there at the end there. You and Ryan door to door, nose to tail with 1 to go, and then looks like he dodged a bullet. It's a nice win.
Yeah, I was already trying to figure out how I was going to keep him behind me. It was going to be bad.
It was definitely going to be close. If he would have made it out of turn 7 on your bumper, it was going to be close. Well, that was fun. Ryan, you almost had it. Almost.
Yeah, good work, Jeff. It was my mistake there when I spun. So.
Well, I thought I was going to do that about every other lap. So
I thought I might have you on that run on the back end, but spun out. It was a good race. So.
Mooney on the podium for P3 on that one. Good run for you. You almost had him. I'm sure you were chomping at it, trying to catch up with him there, but he got back going again before you get to him.
Yeah, no, you never want to see anyone sideways. And I've seen Ryan sideways too many times, even because of me. So, no, if I could have got him, yeah, definitely got in front of him. But Nice job, Ryan, getting back on the horse there and get going.
Yep, good race.
That was a lot of fun. Good job. Congrats to you guys. We're going to close down the stream here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for racing. Thanks for doing it all. Big shout out to our series sponsor, JNR Craftworks, for letting us put this together and keeping it on the air. Big Wizurd TV, sponsored by Stair Fittings Incorporated and Grandpa's Kitchen. On behalf of all of our sponsors, all of our racers, all of our fun, East to West Racing, saying, this is Ron saying good night, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Not everybody.
That was a lot of fun,
Yeah.
guys.
Yep,
I
good
can't,
race,
I can't
guys.
believe I managed to finish on the damn lead lap after pitting for fuel.